I'm going to try to justify location spoofing. If you're not interested in what I have to say and are only interested in the tutorial, then skip to this part of the video. Pokemon Go is a fun game, but let's face it, if you don't live in high traffic areas, or if you're even unfortunate like my brother and have a low data plan, then you're already at a disadvantage. This is actually one of the reasons why I dropped the game after playing for about 1 week. It's just not equal for everybody. Only 6 Pokemon would spawn in my area within a 5-mile radius, and they were all pretty spread out. It really didn't help that they were all Ekans, Sandshrew, and Rhyhorn, and not like the good common Pokemon like Pidgey and Caterpie and Weedle, because those are actually useful. So you could see how I got fed up with the game. I didn't have the advantages other players or my friends had. I couldn't go to places like Disneyland or the Santa Monica Pier, and I could only dream about traveling to New York City just to catch Pokemon like my friend did. I just don't have those kinds of privileges. The only good location near me to catch Pokemon is a park I live close to. But see, it's not much of like a park, it's more like a giant golf course that's in a park, which takes up most of the space of the park, and all the good desirable Pokemon spawn inside that golf course. There are 2 problems with that park. First is its reputation for not being the safest place in the city, especially at night. I have been stalked there in the past when I was coming home from a Yu-Gi-Oh card tournament not too far from there, and even now it hasn't gotten any safer over the years. The second problem is that the golf course in the park where all the desirable Pokemon are, it's closed off for members only, and last time I checked they charge you for like $200 just to become a member, and it's like a monthly thing, and I'm just not willing to spend that much money just to catch some Pokemon. It's because of all this, I decided to turn to location spoofing. I want to be able to catch Pokemon at any time of the day while being safe and without having to break any laws by trespassing just to get Pokemon. Believe it or not, that's actually happened. There's even this Reddit thread where people share their, I guess you can call it, adventurous experiences while playing Pokemon Go, and most of them involve trespassing. So TLDR, I'm just not fortunate enough to get the full Pokemon Go experience. Heads up, Niantic does not approve of location spoofing, so in the future this method may not work, and if that's the case, then I'll upload another video with a more up-to-date method. The only hardware you'll need is your phone. There is a more reliable method that involves using a computer, but my way is more convenient. You also need to download the app FlyGPS. The last thing you'll need is access to developer options on your phone. If you don't know how to do that, then just go to your settings, scroll all the way down to About Phone, and tap on About Phone. Now this next step depends on your phone, but the objective is the same. What you need to do is find your build number, then tap it about 7 times. If you notice it says no need, you're a developer, that's because I've already done that. But once you do it about 7 times, they'll say congratulations, you've unlocked you've gained access to developer options or something like that. Well, that's not necessary. Pokevision does help a lot. I mean, you could track down specific Pokemon you're looking for, and while I wouldn't call it a necessity because that 3-step glitch will be fixed, it's definitely something you're going to be relying on for the time being. If you do choose to use Pokevision, it's best to use it on a computer. Regardless of what I might say, I know some of you are just going to be spoofing at home anyway. You might as well just pull out the computer. Anyway, there are apps that mimic what Pokevision does, but they eat at your battery life, so you should just use Pokevision on your mobile browser. But the desktop version is just a superior version overall. So go ahead and open FlyGPS, and then you will select a location that you desire. Just be sure to not jump location so much, or otherwise you'll get soft banned. And after you select the location, you go ahead and click Please Select Menu, click GPS Service Run, and then click Joystick Location Mode Pokemon. Afterwards, you can go ahead and open Pokemon Go, and then wait for the game to load. I selected Central Park in New York City. So the game is loading my location, and as you can see, I am actually in Central Park. I can actually capture Pokemon, but let me just mute it. There, and as you see, I did not get soft banned right on the spot. And I was able to catch Pokemon. Albeit it was a little embarrassing how I did it, but yeah. And you can actually interact with the Pokestops there, just so long as you let them load first. Alright, so now you know how to spoof your location, but there are a few things that you should know about as a spoofer. The first thing is to try this on a secondary account so that you can get an understanding for the joystick control, because if you move at a suspicious rate, it could get you soft banned. Once you get the hang of it, you can try this on your main account now. The second thing you should know is that you can move the joystick to different spots of the screen if you hold your finger directly under it. I have yet to find a spot where it doesn't get in the way. If for whatever reason you can't claim items for Pokestops and every Pokemon you try to catch immediately pops out of the ball and runs away, you have been soft banned. A workaround being soft banned is to log out of the account you're currently logged into, log into a secondary account, catch a Pokemon in the secondary account, then log out and log back into the account that was soft banned, and you should now be unbanned. I'm sure someone is still going to comment that they were banned and it's all my fault despite my warnings, but I might as well tell you how to avoid getting banned in the first place despite it being common knowledge. First of all, do not jump locations. Now what I mean by this is don't change your location too far in a short amount of time. For example, before waking up to spend the entire day working on this video, I slept for about 12 hours. Now that's more than enough time that it would take to get on a plane and fly from LA, where I live, to New York City, which is about a 5-hour flight. So it would make sense that in the time between the last time I opened Pokemon Go till right now, that I would be in New York City. That's about more than 12 hours, so it wouldn't really look suspicious. The second step to making sure you don't get banned is time your location jumps. Do not get greedy. I also recommend to monitor Pokevision to not only pinpoint Pokemon in locations that you've never been to before, but to also spawn right next to your target. Sometimes using the joystick on Fly GPS can cause a temporary glitch that will reveal your true identity, so if you're not familiar enough with the actual layout of the location you're spoofing to be able to fake actual unsuspicious movement, then I recommend closing Pokemon Go, readjusting your spawning point, and timing your location at about a car speed, if not slightly slower. That just comes with practice. So, let me repeat myself. Just don't get greedy. Permanent bans may not be a thing yet. In fact, it hasn't even been confirmed, yet people claiming it has been. They're lying, by the way. But who's to say permanent bans won't be a thing in the future? Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. This is Righteous Ukeza, signing off.